Good morning. In our devotional series this week, we're thinking about heaven. First week, I mentioned that the term is a little bit used in a sort of a generic sense, and I talked about the fact that we've got to think more about the new heavens and new earth. Yesterday, we talked about who gets to go to heaven, and I talked about infants and some of the gray areas there. Today, we're looking at the question of what our relationships will be like in heaven. Will we recognize each other? Will we get to see our friends? Will we be married? And this is one of those questions that comes up as people are trying to imagine what it's going to be like and how much of this world and this life carries forward. So Jesus points out some of the differences when he is confronted by the Pharisees who ask this question. You know, there's a man and he marries a woman and then he dies. And as was the custom at that time, then the brother was to take on, was to marry the wife because women didn't have the legal rights. And so they needed, sort of economic care. They needed economic and practical care. And so the brother would marry, and then he dies, and then the next brother, he dies. And so there's 7 brothers. They all marry or they all die. And eventually the woman dies. So they ask, because this is the Sadducees, actually, because the Sadducees didn't believe in the resurrection. That's why they were sad, you see. But Jesus then says, look, heaven is going to be different than that, and we're not going to be given in marriage. And he talks about, in that sense, we will be like angels. We're not angels. Angels are different beings. But in that sense, we will be more like the angels. And we mentioned other ways that heaven will be different, right? So there will not be sin. There will not be bodily decay. We will not experience time in the same way. So all of that brings the question, what about our relationships? Well, as you have probably already picked up, there's not a lot of specifics about heaven that we can latch onto. But there are some things that we can look at and then infer from. So at the Transfiguration, Jesus interacts with 2 who have died and gone forward, and he recognizes them, Moses and Elijah. They're still who they are. They have their identity. And in the book of Revelation, John will describe the fact that, people are there from every tribe and every tongue and every nation, which suggests that they have maintained some of their earthly identity when they are in heaven. So I want to say that even though we will no longer be married in heaven, there is a sense in which we will still be who we are, and we will have relationships with people from earth, but we will also we will make new friendships in heaven. So, hope that helps. Have a good day.